I'm going to show you exactly how I fix explosive reactivity, aggressive type behaviours and get this dog back on track to become a perfect canine companion. The first thing I always do is I assess the problem. When a dog comes to me for help, I need to know where these bad behaviours are coming from. It's completely normal for the owners to focus on the bad behaviour, but that's like the tip of the iceberg, just what's poking out of the water. I need to know exactly what's underneath the water that most people don't see. And with this dog, I do believe that there was intent behind its behaviours. I do believe that it would absolutely pose a risk to people. I do believe that it would bite if required. And whenever I'm working with dogs that have this level of potential, this level of risk, we always go for safety first. So the first thing that I had to do was get this dog on a muzzle. Once the dog was muzzled, we were then ready to tackle this problem and get this dog to a place where they can be a safe, loving canine companion. That I did believe that under all of this explosive reactivity, underneath all of this aggressive based behavior, there was a sweet, kind dog sat there waiting to come out, but it just needed somebody in its life to step up, take control, lead the situation and help them understand that they don't have to be on guard all of the time. Now, here at my centre, I have a range of incredibly talented trainers, and it's absolutely a joy to be able to help my team grow and progress in their careers as dog trainers and canine behaviourists. So this was an amazing opportunity for one of my most talented trainers, Nana, to take the reins on this kind of aggressive case. So we started by building some engagement with the dog, and we knew that at some point in the day we were going to have to challenge this dog's behaviour. For us to be able to save this dog's life and stop it going back to a shelter, we needed to help the dog understand that this isn't acceptable anymore. But the problem with these kind of dogs is that sometimes when you challenge the behaviours, that aggression going outwards can turn around and come up the lead towards the handler. So again, we have to be safe, we have to test this, and I do this by feathering in lead pressure, helping the dog understand that we're leading and navigating this situation, and helping the dog understand that they need to be following us and engaging with us. Now, it was no surprise to me whatsoever that Nana was able to get on top of this incredibly quickly, and it was really fun for me to be able to take a step back and observe one of my trainers going through this process, and to be able to watch and coach as opposed to being the person in the firing line making sure that we get this right. I jumped in and did a little bit of work as well, and we both got to a point where we were happy that the dog was building engagement. There wasn't going to be a huge risk of what we call handler redirection, where the dog was going to attack us when we started to challenge behaviours later in the day. So now it was the time where the rubber meets the road. We needed to get a dog out to be able to get that explosive reactivity and aggression to take place, for us to then be able to communicate what it is that we don't want, which is that level of reactivity and aggression, and communicate what we do want, which is exactly what we've just been working on, which is engage with us, focus on us. And at this stage of the process is all I needed. Now, obviously, so much is happening, and the details and experience and skill that's required to have this kind of success isn't something that I can teach in a short YouTube video like this. But I want you to take away from what you're about to see that even if you have an incredibly extreme version of reactivity and pulling like this dog, that you can also get on top of it. And to help you do that, I created a completely free, in-depth training into exactly how we tune up that engagement and what you need to do in terms of the obedience and fun work to be able to have these kinds of incredible transformations. It's completely free of charge, no strings attached. There'll be a link in the description box below that you can go and check out after this video. So we start by bringing one of our role model dogs into the equation that we know we can trust, rely on, and remain under complete control. And we do a combination of working at a distance. Then we do both dogs moving, which is easier. Then we go to one dog stationary and one dog moving, which is a bit more complicated. And then we go to both dogs stationary, which is where the real challenge lies. We work through all of those behaviors. We challenged the dog when it made bad decisions. We rewarded it when it started to make great decisions. And we were able to bring that reactivity from 100 down to a level 5 to 10, which is huge progress. which then allowed us to move on to the next stage. And that next stage is to remember to have fun with the dogs we're working with, the dogs that we're living with, and the dogs that we're training. Yes, when you're having a dog that's this dangerous, this explosive, this reactive, it can be all consuming, and you want to focus on some of these challenging behaviors pieces of the puzzle, really dial in on these things, but we always remember that we want to have a happy, fulfilling, loving relationship with our dogs. Yes, as their leaders, we have a duty of care to keep them under control and to keep them safe. But once we've achieved that, we want to layer on the fun, we want to layer on the praise, we want to layer on the rewards. So I take the dog for a beautiful heel walk in the beautiful countryside around my centre. We then go and work my obstacle course, challenging the dog, pushing it out of its comfort zone, but giving it tons of opportunity to succeed, which gives me tons of opportunity to praise it. That builds that engagement even further. It helps the dog understand, oh, I've got a job to do. Oh, I just need to follow this guidance and direction and great things happen. Oh, somebody's finally steering this ship. And when that dog goes from the place it was at the start of the day, where no one was steering the ship, it felt it had to make all the decisions in life, and all of those decisions were terrible ones. It didn't want to make those decisions, it just needed somebody to come in and say, hey buddy, it's okay, I'm going to drive. You don't need to worry. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. You see the weight of the world come off these dogs' shoulders, and you see them go from these dogs that are at real risk of euthanasia and be completely transformed into dream canine companions. And that's where we then hand those skills over to the owners, and they can take these dogs, move forward in life positively, and enjoy the perfect canine companion this dog always was. It just needed a leader in its life to bring that out, because as always, leadership is love.